Having seen the original Speak No Evil for the first time only a couple weeks ago, I decided I might as well watch the remake, and I was actually kind of looking forward to it. I wanted to see what they did with it, and I mostly left just kind of confused. For those unfamiliar with either film, it is about two families who meet on vacation. They become friends during the short period of time. One invites the other to come visit them in their remote home, and basically it becomes a game of what horrible things will you let happen to you just to avoid awkward conversation and being rude. The original film is definitely a masterclass when it comes to just being able to make an audience feel uncomfortable. And it does a great job of making you have to sort of put yourself in the position of these characters. Would you do what they're doing? And even if you wouldn't, at least someone with me with social anxiety, I can see why they're doing some of the things they're doing, even if I want to strangle them for it. And this film does sort of the same thing. So I'm struggling to figure out why it just violently doesn't work here. I don't really know why this movie exists. I mean, it'd be one thing if they just wanted to make it in English, but the original film for almost the entire thing is also in English. So I'm not quite sure why it needed to be redone, except all this did was really just sort of take the teeth and a lot of the more effective, memorable parts out of the film. It's not as good at building tension. It's not as good at making me feel uncomfortable. And while James McAvoy is good, he was actually why I was sort of excited to see this film. He's not enough to make this worth watching. One of the big problems is the arguably what was in the original, I would say the main character of the husband of the victim family is just not particularly very good. He's not a bad actor. He just isn't great. A lot of the interesting scenes in that first film were the two husbands playing off each other in the different ways they dealt with their families and dealt with themselves as men in general. And that was just not really very present here, just not done very well. I did wonder if they were going to pretty much change the ending and make it more happy. And spoiler alerts, they do. Like, I thought the first film was fine. I didn't seem to like it as much as others did, but I did think it was good. And if nothing else, it does leave you with a huge sucker punch at the end. That ending of that film is memorable. And this one is not. They take away that brutality without replacing it with anything more interesting. You're just kind of left going, okay, well, that was a movie. And it just becomes incredibly not memorable. It's not unwatchably bad, and there are certainly much, much worse horror remakes, cough, Martyrs, cough, but I'll just say in general, it just seemed forgettable, and that's almost worse than if it had been bad. I can work with bad. Bad can be interesting. This just kind of existed.